Welcome everybody. We're Group 10 and we're going to present the smartphone industry in the USA by Ariana, Luca, Carmen, and of course me. So we will start with the analysis structure. We will start with the objective of the study, then we will move on to the product definition, then to the supply, then to the demand of the product, and finally a conclusion. So for the objective of the study, we're going to analyze the smartphone industry in the US in order to advise a group of foreign investors if they should enter the market. So with almost 295 million smartphone users in the United States, we can affirm that the smartphone industry in the US is one of the fastest growing markets, if not the fastest. As proof of this, in 2011, only 35% of American adults were using smartphones. And that percentage has almost doubled in a matter of 4 years in 2015 to finally reach 85% as of 2022. These numbers obviously vary between age groups, but also between income. Since a couple of years ago, a smartphone used to be a luxury product, but when some low-cost Asian companies penetrated the market, this changed it completely, but income's difference can still be seen. Moreover, the smartphone industry benefits from a positive network effect in which the value for product increases the more users they are.
Okay, so for the 4.1, the products and services provided, the US smartphone market consists of all firms throughout the world that manufacture and sell smartphones to the US consumers. A smartphone is a mobile electronic device which forms an advanced operating system that is open to install a new application, is always connected to the internet, and which provides very diverse functionality to the customer. The major participants to the US smartphone market include Apple, Samsung Electronics, LG, and Motorola. Apple and Samsung are the leading smartphone vendors in the United States, with a combined market share of more than 70%. The two smartphone vendors dominate the US smartphone market, not only in terms of sales, but also when it comes to customer satisfaction. There are three major operators in the United States that offer nationwide wireless services: Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. All three operators network using LTE standard for their 4G and also offer 5G services. As for the geographical area of operations, there are many important smartphone brands that come from the US, such as Apple from California, Blue Products from Florida, Caterpillar from Illinois, Firefly from Austin, Texas, Garmin from Kansas, and Motorola from Illinois. As for the substitute product, substitution is a significant threat to smartphone manufacturers. The market is characterized by constant product introductions, quickly evolving technology and designs, short product life cycle, aggressive pricing, rapid imitation of product and technological advancements, and high price sensitivity of customers. Although technological innovation is rapid in the smartphone market, any edge a particular firm might obtain, whether it be technological or industrial, is diminished by rapid imitation. With some exceptions, smartphones from most manufacturers at any given time have relative feature priority in many aspects, making substitution relatively easy from the customer's perspective. Smartphone manufacturers compete heavily on price, and small changes in price often results in increases in sales. One is to take advantage of complementary demands for apps. Apple does this most effectively by maintaining a closed system in which they are the only source of apps for iPhone.
Okay, so the smartphone industry in the US would be considered an oligopoly, and this is because there are a small number of brands, which in this case are Apple, Samsung, Lenovo, and LG, which control up to 94% of the overall market share in the US. And therefore, there are many barriers to entry, as it's very controlled by these exact businesses. So first of all, the economies of scale, there are significant fixed costs that are associated with the smartphone manufacturing, and even though many of these businesses manufacture overseas by what is normally Chinese foreign companies, the cost of developing, researching, finding out information, hiring design teams, it's very high. So any firm that would enter the market would have to have very important existing financial resources and be aware of these high costs. Moreover, the intellectual property, the hardware and softwares of the smartphones are nowadays all protected by patents. And so nearly almost weekly, there are many lawsuits that are filed against each other between the competitors, and this can be very expensive, up to $10 million. And so any business coming into the market has to be aware of this, as they would have to cover these lawsuits if they would encounter them. Moreover, there are regulatory policies such as abiding environmental regulations or radio transmitting devices, and all of these have to be approved by the FCC, which would be the Federal Communications Commission of the US. Moreover, the market growth just means that there's a lot of competition, as many firms want to have a portion of the market share and gain a lot of revenue, because it's a very profitable industry. And lastly, the brand loyalty. Apple products, for example, have a lot of brand loyalty between the customers, and so it would be very difficult to enter for a new firm and just get all of these customers, which are very loyal to these companies, to just move and change products. So you would have to keep that in mind. Moreover, in the next slide, we can see the competition. So as I previously mentioned, this is a technological industry, and so it's very important to keep investing and finding new technologies. And so competition is very fierce. And we can see the HHI index would be 3674, which just means that it's a very highly concentrated industry. And so it's very competitive.
So now onto the demand and how to modify this demand. As we mentioned before, the ecosystem, the main example is Apple, because everything is so connected, it's hard to change customers into your own brand. And then there's also successful ad campaigns. For Apple, there's this misunderstood ad where they show in an emotional way the capabilities of the iPhone's camera and its editing software. And for Samsung, there's the Galaxy Awesome ad where they show through a catchy song the benefits of the Galaxy A series. And of course, the Motorola has this different is better ad where they call out their own competitors for not innovating enough, especially Apple indirectly. And they showed their uniqueness of their phone, as they have a JBL speaker and even a projector in the phone. So on the next slide, we can go on to the pricing policy. And the two main methods are price skimming and competitive pricing. And especially Apple uses price skimming, as there's a high initial price when the phone is new and there's this wow factor. And then over time, it falls greatly. And competitive pricing is what Samsung uses, as we can see in the two graphs. Samsung always prices slightly lower than what Apple charges to remain competitive. And substitute and complementary goods, of course, it's choosing between either Apple or Samsung or other brands. And it also relates to production costs, which I will get onto later. And complementary goods are, of course, what make up the phone, such as raw materials, screens, and components. And also taxes have an effect, because when you purchase a phone, there's around 7 to 8% tax in the United States, as it depends where. For example, in New York, it's 8%, in California, it's 7%. And on the next slide, we can see the production costs and prices of the Apple and Samsung, which are the two main competitors. So the profit margins, yes, are high, are all above basically 50%, but it's incredibly hard to compete with them, as they're already so powerful.
So to conclude, even if the US smartphone industry is a very promising industry, we will highly recommend you not to invest in. And here's why. The smartphone industry is a new industry where two big firms control most of the market. In this case, Apple and Samsung, who hold a combined market share of more than 70%, as Carmen said. Moreover, the smartphone market in the US is an oligopoly due to the small number of brands that have already been established. These companies control up to 94% of the market. Therefore, the barriers to entry are very high, and it's very difficult to succeed in this market and therefore become the market leader. Some of the barriers to entry include economies of scale, research and development, capital-intensive production, switching cost, and finally, brand loyalty. And finally, we would advise not to invest in this company due to the network externalities or ecosystems that are already in place. We can take Apple, for example. It becomes more convenient to own all Apple products, as you can share the data between them easily and quickly. Just for example, the AirDrop technology, which is only available to Apple users. So if there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer after class. And that's it. Thank you very much.